What if I told you that in Jewish culture, losing everything isn't a tragedy, it's an opportunity? That's right, a crisis is not the end, it's the reset button. For centuries, Jewish families have followed invisible money rules that most people don't even see. These are not the typical tips you find in finance books. These are principles passed down quietly through generations, rules that help them survive wars, exile, even losing all their possessions, and still rebuild stronger. In this video, I'll uncover the hidden rules that explain why some people bounce back from disaster while others never recover, why the wealth of one community seems to last when others disappear, and why opportunities often come to those who give away money instead of keeping it. Stay with me, because once you understand these hidden rules, you'll never look at money the same way again. Invisible rule #, crisis is a reset, not an end. Most people see crisis as the end of the road. Lose your job? End of your career. Lose your business? End of your dream. Lose your money? End of your future. But in the Jewish mindset, crisis is not the end. It's a reset. History proves this over and over again. Jewish families were expelled from countries, stripped of land, robbed of possessions. Everything material was taken, and yet within a generation, they rebuilt. Why? Because they carried something no one could take: their skills, their networks, their mindset. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" they asked, "How do I start again, but smarter this time?" That shift turned every crisis into a restart button. Now think about it. What happens when most people lose money in the stock market? They panic, they freeze, they give up. But the Jewish mindset is different. They plan for setbacks before they happen. They already know what they'll cut, what they'll protect, and how they'll rebuild. Here's how you can apply it. Make your own worst-case playbook. If you lost 80% of your wealth today, what's your 90-day recovery plan? Focus on assets you can carry everywhere: skills, relationships, knowledge. That way, even if you lose the tangible, you still have the tools to rebuild. Because the truth is, wealth isn't about never falling. It's about how quickly you rise when you do. And that's why, in Jewish culture, a crisis is never the end. It's the moment to reset and come back stronger. Invisible rule #3, trust is a form of capital. When most people think about wealth, they think about money in the bank, stocks, or property. But in the Jewish wealth mindset, there's another kind of capital, just as powerful: trust. For centuries, Jewish merchants built reputations so strong that their word was as good as a contract. Deals were made on a handshake because everyone knew if this man promised something, he would deliver. That trust was capital. It gave them access to credit, partnerships, and opportunities that money alone could never buy. In fact, trust often moved faster than cash. A merchant with no gold in his pocket but a flawless reputation could secure loans and trade goods across borders, while a rich man with no reputation was left behind. And here's the modern lesson. In today's world, trust still works like compound interest.
Every time you keep a promise, every time you deliver on time, every time you act with integrity, your trust equity grows. People recommend you, people come back, people want to work with you.
Now, think about the opposite. One broken promise, one shady deal, one dishonest move, and your trust account can be emptied overnight. And once trust is gone, rebuilding it is far harder than making money. So, how can you apply this? Treat every commitment as a contract. If you say you'll do it, follow through. Measure your trust equity just like money. What percentage of your business comes from referrals? How many clients return without being asked? Ask yourself before every decision, if this became public tomorrow, would I be proud? If the answer is no, don't do it. Because here's the invisible truth. Money can open doors once. Trust can keep them open forever. And in Jewish culture, trust isn't just good ethics, it's wealth itself. Invisible rule #4, charity as social insurance. When most people think of charity, they see it as giving money away, a loss, something nice to do when you're already rich. But in Jewish culture, charity or tzedakah is not a loss. It's a form of social insurance. For centuries, Jewish families understood that wealth is not safe if the community around you is weak. If your neighbor suffers, eventually that suffering reaches your door. But if you lift others up, you create a circle of protection, and that circle protects you too. That's why successful Jewish families consistently gave a portion of their income to education, to healthcare, to community needs. It wasn't only morality, it was strategy. By strengthening the community, they strengthened the network that supported their businesses, their families, their future. Think about it in modern terms. When you invest in charity, you're also investing in your brand, your reputation, and your relationships. People remember who helped them when times were hard. Opportunities often flow back from the very communities you helped. Here's how you can apply this. Set aside a fixed percentage of your income or profit for giving. It doesn't matter if it's 1%, 5%, or 10%. What matters is consistency. Choose causes connected to your values and your work. If you're in education, fund scholarships. If you're in business, support training programs. Don't just think of it as donating, think of it as investing in the ecosystem that makes your success possible. Because here's the paradox. Every dollar you give away with purpose comes back multiplied. Sometimes in goodwill, sometimes in referrals, sometimes in pure business opportunities. That's why Jews see charity not as charity but as insurance. It protects their wealth by protecting the world around it. Invisible rule #5. Use other people's money. One of the least visible but most powerful Jewish money rules is this: the wealthy don't just use their own money, they use other people's money. From the earliest days, Jewish merchants mastered credit lending and partnerships. Instead of risking all their own capital, they pooled resources, borrowed, and built systems where everyone shared both the risk and the reward. That's why they could scale faster and survive setbacks better than those who played only with their own pocket. Here's the key. OPM is not about reckless borrowing. It's about leveraging responsibly. You use other people's money to grow opportunities while protecting the downside with rules, contracts, and trust. In modern terms, this might mean raising investor capital, using bank financing wisely, or partnering with others to fund growth. You don't have to be the richest person in the room if you know how to multiply resources together. So let's wrap this up. The Jewish wealth mindset is built on 5 invisible rules. Seeing crisis as a reset, not an end. Protecting wealth by saying no to the wrong deals. Treating trust as capital. Using charity as social insurance.
And multiplying growth with other people's money?
Most people never see these rules, but they explain why Jewish wealth has endured for centuries. Here's my challenge to you. Don't just watch this video. Pick one of these rules and apply it this week. Build your own safety net, say no to a bad deal, protect your trust, give with purpose, or explore leverage. Because wealth isn't built by chance, it's built by invisible rules. If this video gave you a new way to think about money, hit like, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more insights. And in the next video, we'll explore another culture's wealth mindset, and I promise it will surprise you.